Welcome to Everywhere. Today we dive into the world that you create. That's right. We're going to be talking about a special game that really interested me years ago. And now we finally have a bigger picture of this game. I also got hands on, and there's a lot more from the studio that we're going to be talking about. If you guys been paying attention to the channel at all, Mind's Eye's around the corner as this game releases. I'm excited about everywhere because it's all connected using the same tools. The developers use these tools that you're watching in here to make Mind's Eye. And it's a totally separate game and it's more realistic graphics, but man, oh man, that is such a cool thing to know that they took the tools from this called Arcadia and they brought it into Mind's Eye. And they using that, and that's why Mind's Eye will allow you to build and play other people's creations as well. So super cool. Now let's take a moment and talk about what we're looking at when it comes to Everywhere. This is a very special game on what it's trying to do, and I do believe that people are going to have a great time once this game officially launches soon enough, and you should definitely look into it. All right, you're going to ask me, hey, what is Everywhere? We're about to get into that. Okay, Everywhere is a lot of things and you might be surprised. So it is a massive multiplayer online game. It has an integration system for very cool systems when it comes to player created content. You can generate your own content using the tools and elements that they basically provide in this game. And it's up to you to, make new modes, new things, and that are going to be special in their own way. And so I want to kind of take a moment and back this up for a second to explain it in detail by showcasing a little bit of Mind's Eye. If you guys don't know, Mind's Eye is a story-based game, action adventure that's set in a near future, and it has realistic graphics. And you're wondering, how does this connect to Everywhere when the other game doesn't look anything like this? Well, the tools used to make this game are going to be in your hands. You're going to be capable of using the systems to make these type of games and the cutscenes and all of that. Okay. On top of that, all these assets, whether it's the vehicles, the players, the enemies, all of it can be used as well. And so all of a sudden, Everywhere is literally everywhere. It's in a different game, used to a certain extent, and I'm going to go deeper into it right now so you can see more or less how this all functions. So as you play the story of Mind's Eye, you're going to also be able to play, which is a separate thing called Play Mind's Eye. And this is basically portals or the menu where you can select user generated content or the official developers content. So imagine you're going to get DLCs, right? Well, in this game, you have a menu full of DLCs plus the user generated content, which also can have DLCs. And so this is kind of the setup here where you select and you can just go in and play. And let's just make believe I made this specific mission here. And you're going to be playing my content. And so now you go in and you're running around doing whatever design that I create. It can be a, mission to stealth, maybe full action packed escapes or anything like that. It is up to you on what you can do. And that's because of a very cool toolkit called Arcadia that they built to be able to make these games and then also have the community make them. So this right here for PC only, it's called Build Mind's Eye. And this is the toolkit that you're going to see in Everywhere as well. So each of the studio's games will have this toolkit for you to be able to make games out of it. You're going to be able to play them, whether it's a user generated one or the developers DLC versions, and do this. So you're basically getting three kind of games at once. You're going to get the actual game experience. You're going to get to play other people's generated content. And then if you're on PC, you can create these very things that you're seeing. Okay. And this is important. And so you can do all types of different things. It just, your creativity is where it's at. And what I want to do right now is kind of discuss and showcase a little bit of Everywhere. And I want to give my impressions as well. So I played Everywhere, over 10 hours of Everywhere's beta. And, I just kind of explored. I did it very casually, and I wasn't trying to create anything too crazy. I mostly used templates from other players. But this is the menu right here. You're able to socialize with other people. You're able to play. You're able to build, as we talked about. And then they feature a lot of community content in here of different people's elements. When you go to build, there's a lot of different things in here. It's like arcs are basically ways from the Arcadia system of tools, a template, somebody's logic for AI, over aggressive, or somebody's logic for a passive one where they're just sleeping, or all of the different things that you can create are done in here. And the reason I bring this up is because I've seen some amazing stuff, and you can just go right on YouTube. Okay. And we're going to cover some of this in the near future. I promise you, I'm going to be looking into other people's content. But right now we're watching one of the developers. He's going to be making his own area. And so, of course, he starts off with the floor, kind of just give it a structure. He's dragging and dropping different items and trying to select what he wants to do. And what I want to do is showcase one of the templates. I actually use this one as well, just to see what it was. It's a pretty interesting little island, and I threw it into the map. And basically, inside of there, you can have a lot of players, and you can do like a PvP mission. You can do something interesting story-wise, whatever you want with this concept. But this is templates that either users make or the developers can add. And think about how endless this can get. And so he's creating a structure. Spoiler alert, it's a platformer and a shooter. So he's basically trying to create an island with water. As we see here, he's slowly implementing the water. And then he got these obstacles that he's putting in between the two islands so that the player has to challenge his way through and get in there. And so you're going to be capable of making this. Now, if you don't want to make this, you can easily just say, hey, I want to play. I'm not really worried about this. Remember, you're getting 3 parts to each of their games. So when you talk about Build a Rocket Boy, they have the experience of whatever game you're purchasing. Then they'll have the play experience, which lets you go into the menus and see what they created, the developers and the users. So all of this extra content that the users are making, you can also experience. And then, of course, the build side, where people can make their own setup. And I want to kind of just show you how easy it is to test this. And I've done this myself. It's pretty straightforward. You put some pieces together, put some enemies in the map, and then when you want to test it, you just hit play, basically. Okay, there's a play button on the top right. You hit that, you get into the match, and then you see if your world is working. Some of it doesn't, some of it does. If you know how to do it, you'll be fine. But then, of course, they have templates. These weapons are so strong. Like, the enemies die so fast. It's pretty wild. So as you can see right here, it looks like that platform is pretty far, but you have a triple jump and a dash with this character, which is pretty overpowered, to be honest with you. I was being able to get anywhere with this. Super interesting and exciting. Like I said, the main thing, the reason I'm presenting this about Everywhere is because a lot of my MindsEye community probably has no clue that, like, what is Everywhere. And then now you're wondering, like, what am I getting out of the game and the story? I don't want to build anything, and I'm not worried too much about playing other people's content. Okay, well, they have a massive open world, and they're going to have different things and multiplayer things for people to experience. And I can't tell you what exactly it's going to be because they're evolving it over time. It's already evolved multiple times. So if I try to describe it 3 years ago or today, it's totally different. But as you can see, the world is starting to understand that user-generated content is a big part of gaming now. It's a fun thing, and it helps. And with the developers using the same tools to make their games, this allows them to make some very cool stuff. So the first cool thing that they made, guess what? MindsEye was made directly with the tools from everywhere, aka Arcadia. What does that mean? That means everything in MindsEye is gonna end up in everywhere at some point, somehow. Again, I can't speak directly on what the game plan on when and how that all will work, but basically they've said it in interviews how they want to kind of merge everything into one big ecosystem, streamlining it so that you're able to get access to the tools. For example, these vehicles, or the enemies or characters or weapons, all of the little details are going to be able to be streamlined together. And this is such a big project. They've been working on this, I would say, I think 8 years. I don't even know, but I know I've been keeping track for a lot of years. I've already forgotten. But they're just getting going as far as MindsEye is around the corner. And this is the big title, of course, and what they're looking to push for now, and as well as what I'll be playing. And then we're going to learn all the tools. So before even Everywhere releases, we'll have the skills and ability to make fun stuff in there as well. Multiplayer games and things like that. So you're capable of joining the fun. So I hope that you get involved and rock with me as we continue to develop our experiences with this project. Like I said, this is an inspiring project, something totally cool and ambitious that I'm going to keep track of. So I want to share that with y'all. And now I wanted to say my next video is going to be pretty dope, and it is about MindsEye. So make sure you leave a like if this was informative. And if you want more MindsEye, it should be popping up on screen now. See you there.